And I don't know why I never made the connection. But when I finally left, I'm talking about finally left and accepted the breakup, anxiety was at bay. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm gonna just get straight to the point. I don't know if you've been noticing, but my TikTok has been blowing up because I made a video talking about an example of dealing with a narcissist. So with that being said, a lot of people was asking me so many questions, and I just feel like I'm gonna use this video to give you signs that you possibly are dealing with a narcissist, my experiences and how I got out, etc. So first things first, this video is specifically about emotional abuse, and I strongly advise that you keep very respectful in my comments or you will be blocked effective immediately, because this is a touchy subject, and I know from first-hand experience the last thing somebody needs is somebody invalidating their experience. And disclaimer, my explanation is based off of my experience. I'm not diagnosing, so if you feel you may be a victim of this, I suggest going to therapy and going to an actual professional, because I cannot diagnose. I am not licensed to do so, at least not yet. So I'm using my phone to read because you know I gotta come with facts. So emotional abuse, you can look up the definition of emotional abuse because it is like so complicated. But most importantly, I think it's important to know that emotional abuse often leads to a negative self-image and poor confidence, which is why I made that video and that example. So me personally, I was always somebody, well, I wasn't always, but I was in a stage where I like to dress up and do my makeup. I was just learning how to do makeup, and if you know how to do makeup, you can make a bag with that. So I'm just trying to find my skills and stuff. And being with an energy vampire, I'm gonna call that person, because I cannot diagnose that person narcissist, even though I'm both my therapist. But anyway, that person, let's just say, can really discourage me from doing so. And it might sound normal because like, oh, maybe your partner loves you for who you are, blah 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 blah. It's actually way deeper than that. I'm talking about he would try to control what I wear. Like, I don't even dress inappropriately, literally, and the fact that he was still on my case. And I'm just a naturally curvy girl, so anything I wear is gonna come off as, I don't know, like something's gonna pull. Let's just say they cannot be hidden no matter what I'm wearing, and this person was making a huge deal out of it. We had one time a crazy argument for like 2 hours straight. Mind you, this should have been the first red flag, because we were arguing about this when we were in a talking stage, and it was only 2 weeks of talking. And I remember I was going insane because this is my first encounter with a narcissist, and I didn't know that in order to, the best way to handle it is not feed into it, period. And I remember putting my best friend on the phone. I'm like, do you hear this? And she's trying to like help, and she as well wasn't aware of the storm that we was about to endure. So she just thought he generally was like, you know, it just was a normal argument. She was trying to like diffuse it. And one thing he loves to do is act like he don't know what you're talking about. Gaslighting. I can type this man a whole essay, a thesis, multiple supporting details. I can write it plain as day, and he will still try to act like he don't know what I'm talking about. But when I would talk about like something, like I was just venting to him about something, and it'd be a similar situation, and he will give me good advice that indicates to me that he knows exactly what he's doing. Someone with emotionally abusive behaviors may try to isolate you from your loved ones. For example, they may use manipulation tactics to prevent you from doing things you enjoy. Okay. I live on campus 9 times, like majority of the time, so it's kind of like a long distance relationship, but not really. And And when I'm on campus, I lead a different life because people back home can't relate to what I'm going through here. You're not on campus with me. You're not going to the extracurricular activities that I'm in. Like, so those are where I can relate to my college friends more. And my college friends also are my childhood friends as well. So that's kind of different. But at the same time, if I'm talking about something that's campus related, they're gonna understand exactly what I'm talking about. And when you're in a whole different place, like I was no longer in my hometown, of course you're gonna feel isolated. So if you have good friends, you need to hold on to that. You don't have your family down here, so we technically had to give each other our support. And we would plan things ahead, like for example, girls night, movie night, and I would let him know that because I'm big on communication. I don't like when people don't communicate with me. And he would still cause a fit. Now at first, you know, I'm in love, I wanted to spend every moment with my boo. And very shortly, if it was very like, okay, like, mind you, we were on the phone 24/7 anyway. So I was like, okay, like, chill, let me go do this. Especially if we already planned it ahead. And he would literally be like all the time, they see you all the time. I only get to see you, which he had a point, but so that's why for me it was normal. So I was like, all right, whatever, he got a point, let me tend to his needs. But it's to the point where I was now neglecting my friendships as well. But when it was him and we'd be on the phone and we planned to talk on the phone at this time because I was in class, so I didn't really get to talk to you. Soon as his man's call, soon as his girl best friend call, boom, and God forbid I'm upset. And a lot of times he'll spring it on at late notice and I'm expected to just be okay with it. But God forbid I make plans ahead and let you know, I'm supposed to just neglect those plans. And the manipulation tactics that he was very good at using, this is the thing before I explain. Narcissists, they study you, bro. They study you. And I have abandonment, I'm putting my business out there, but I got abandonment issues. So when somebody gives me the silent treatments, I didn't know how to react very well. And nobody really does that for real on a daily basis except for him. So it was driving me off the wall. If I did not do something that he liked or approved of, silent treatment. And it drove me insane. I'm talking about one time he even went, like, we were in the middle of like talk. We had an argument. And we were talking. Here's the thing. Mind you, some foolish argument, as it always is. And I was in the middle of explaining my point of view. The man hangs up in my face and claims he had turned his phone off. So therefore, when I called him back, it goes straight to voicemail. And he had it for the whole night and towards the whole next morning, all the way to the whole afternoon. Do you know how damaging that is to a person? And I'm really convinced that it wasn't that he turned his phone off. He probably just blocked me mid-conversation. Okay. So yeah, I was very familiar with the silent treatment. And it will always be like at the most inappropriate time. You think, okay, let's finish our conversation. Like, you know what, this is getting too overwhelming, and then you hang up and then probably not speak to that person. No, right in the middle of your conversation, he would do it. He don't care. And I really felt like my emotional needs were being neglected because I just used to be like, don't do that, just communicate. If this is too much for you, just like, then we'll come back to it later. No, don't care. Like, he was deliberately punishing me with the silent treatment, and he knew what it did to me, like the emotional spiral. He knew, and he didn't care. So signs that the person could possibly be going through this: low self-esteem, you become like self-critical or feel worthless. My self-esteem towards the end of the relationship has been depleted. I will show you pictures of myself, like you see how drained I was. My self-esteem has been trashed. This is somebody who is very insecure himself. And so they're typically very insecure, they have low self-esteem, and therefore eventually he found a way to make me meet him there. One thing about it, when they feel insecure, they want to humble you so you can get to their place. It's like psychological warfare. You will not understand what I'm talking about unless you experience it firsthand. And when you actually experience it, you will know you experienced it, and you will come back to this video like, oh, now I see what you're talking about. It was my birthday. It was the first time I felt pretty that entire year because of how depleted I was and drained, and again, low self-esteem because of him. And I felt so pretty. I've been planning my birthday, like, of all days, can this be the one day I feel pretty and it runs at least 90% smoothly. Came to pick me up to go to dinner. The minute he see me, you would think, you look nice. Nope. Okay. You think maybe, so I'm like, okay, maybe he didn't compliment me because he's trying to rush to get to the restaurant. But I know, this is no gassing. I know I look good. Like, are you crazy? Okay. We get to the restaurant. Everybody is turning their heads looking at me. Cook, because you know when the hibachi, when they cook in front of you, he can't stop complimenting me. My significant other, you would think, nope. Not one compliment, not one. And the cook is really like, you're lucky, da, 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 da. And I really wanted to, and he was just like, yeah, just not entertaining the conversation. Then I did a photo shoot before he came to me up, and when I got the pictures back, I showed him the picture, and he was just like, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna insert it. And mind you, this is the first time I guess a professional picture, and again, it's the first time I felt pretty that whole year. I was just like saying how excited I am, like, look, I was proud of them. He just shrugged it off, like it is what it is, like it didn't really matter. And then I had already planned ahead that I was going to spend the night going out with my friends, like to this bar. It's my 21st birthday, so I was outside. The man was literally threw a tantrum. You know what he said to me before I'm about to leave with my friends? That he was gonna kill himself. And the reason why that conversation even started, let me give you some context. I was literally complaining about how unfazed he was that it was my birthday. He wasn't trying to go the extra mile or any mile at all, like to make me feel like, yay, like he didn't even compliment me. It wasn't even like I went to go see a movie. He would just sleep the whole movies. Like it was like a regular day for this man. That was a really rough year for me. So the birthday was just the one day I wanted, like, you know, some decorum. I was just telling him, like, it hurt my feelings, like you're trying to treat my birthday like it's just a regular day. I was just explaining that to him, and I was just like, fine, like stay and sleep all day. And the man was like, I hope I don't wake up, like, and then started going on with his suicidal ideations. And I'm like, really on the birthday though? And then he knew that I was like going through it that morning because my father didn't even call me to say happy birthday. And I started crying, but at one point I stopped because it was no more tears to give. I was numb. Next sign, social withdrawal. You feel isolated or withdrawn from others. Now again, he would make me feel really guilty about hanging out with my friends, so naturally, and then the silent treatment, naturally I just start to withdraw from people. And then the constant arguments, like it's literally like somebody stuck their teeth in my neck and sucked the energy out of me, and I was a lifeless corpse. Like I was a zombie just going through the motions. I didn't have the energy to even face anybody anymore. Barely had energy to go to class. It was so bad. So I just started to withdraw from everybody. He hated that when I would go to other people for my problems, so I would really try not to. So not a lot of people knew what was going on, and I guess I was also trying to protect him because I was trying to make the relationship seem like it was perfect, but it wasn't, like, which is why a lot of people were shocked when I finally spoke up about what I went through. Another sign, fear. You walk on eggshells or avoid saying or doing things that would cause a reaction. Again, I would feel like I was walking on eggshells so I don't get the silent treatment. Another sign, losing your identity. You give up activities you enjoy. I stopped doing my makeup because he made me feel not that great. I was going to the gym because I needed something, and the gym honestly teaches you good habits. It does, it helps. And I was and then I had, okay, so the way my class schedule is, I have a lot of classes in the morning. This is very important. I have a lot of classes in the morning back to back, and then I had extracurricular activities, or that's just my little free time to do my homework, whatever. So therefore I had to squeeze in going to the gym towards the evening. And then also my friends also used to go to the gym around that time, so just like that, we'll go together. But since I was the most active in the gym, a lot of the times I'd be the one going to the gym by myself. But that's the point, you're going to the gym for yourself. Okay, you would think, right? The man literally started a whole argument with me because I was going to the gym at night. He was trying to say, I don't want you going out at night. Da, 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 da. You think that it's because he cared about my safety, right? Okay. It was hypocritical of him to do all that, because this is the same man that every time we had an argument, or even just on a regular day, would take a stroll through Philly at 3 a.m. in the morning. Who takes a stroll through Philly at 3 a.m. in the morning? If you're a Philadelphian, you know that Philly is wildin'. Why would you put yourself in that position? And me, I'm a paranoid person. I'm caring for his safety more than me. But so I'm like, no, don't do that. If you're gonna take a stroll earlier than that time. But I know one thing, I'm not going to the gym at no 3 a.m. in the morning. So where's the correlation? But if you're gonna be taking strolls at 3 a.m. in the morning, don't tell me nothing about going to the gym at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. Don't tell me nothing about going to the gym at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. That's insanity. And I'm telling him, I'm actually safer than you are because I'm on campus. You're in the streets of Philly. Not saying that that makes a huge difference, but there is a difference. There's cop cars patrolling the campus all the time. So if something happens to me, I'm gonna get a faster, God forbid, I'm gonna get a faster response than you are. And there's my peers that's walking all the time. It's no way something will happen to me, God forbid, and I can't scream and it'll catch somebody's attention. Even if it was a student that was the perpetrator. Somebody will hear me. There's people always walking back and forth around campus. You're walking through the streets of Philly where everybody mind their business. It was insanity, and I was just trying, and anyways, regardless, he knew how much I wanted to lose weight because of my medical issues. I have endometriosis. I have to take hormonal stuff, pills that cause me to gain weight. I was very unhappy with myself, and not only that, it really helps mentally and to relieve stress. So regardless, I told him for now, because of the way my semester is, I have to go to the gym at night. But when I can, I will find a way to incorporate it in the morning, but for now it has to be at night, or I can't go to the gym, and that's not an option. The weight was skyrocketing. He was so mad, and I was really saying, and then I remember I was even saying, I can't wait to lose weight so I can fit into some of my old clothes. And he was just trying to turn it about himself, like, well, I can't wait until I lose. All of a sudden he wanted to be in the gym. I can't wait till I lose weight so I can walk around shirtless and stuff, so I can parade around shirtless. But aren't you the same person that was trying to tell me what to wear? Like, you see what he's trying to do? He thought that that was gonna make me jealous, but instead it just made me annoyed, because it's like, none of that was making sense. And another sign, physical changes. You notice changes in your sleeping, eating, or weight patterns. Again, if it wasn't for the gym, I would have just been with the weight, because I was depressed. Sometimes I was binge eating. Then I even developed an eating disorder, but that had nothing to do with him. That was me. And my sleeping habits, I was always sleeping. Always sleeping. It was like an escape from reality for me. Lastly, another sign, psychological symptoms. You experience mental health conditions such as depression. It's very obvious I was depressed. It's very obvious from the pictures that I was depressed. I did also have other leading factors. For example, again, my father had literally just cut me off. But I cannot blame most of my sadness on that. I honestly can say a huge part of my depression was because of my relationship. And I felt like I kind of had like a little Stockholm syndrome going on. Like I couldn't, like I've been wanting to leave for months, but I couldn't. And let me tell you how I know majority of it was because of him. Because as soon as I walked away, I was way happier. I used to always say I had bad anxiety. 12 out of 10, what I would rate it. And I don't know why I never made the connection. But when I finally left, I'm talking about finally left and accepted the breakup, anxiety was at bay. With that being said, I can make a lot of videos and even more in-depth story time about some of the signs to look out for a narcissist, but that's gonna be like a whole different video because this video is gonna be too long. The way that I walked away was I made sure to have a friend on the phone with me that was gonna keep me accountable in case I was gonna go backwards. And that's like the best advice I can give somebody if you know you're gonna walk away. And it feels like you don't want to because that's all you know, but I promise you life gets so much better when you finally leave. And yes, you can do better. I was literally, because my self-esteem was so low at that point, I started to believe that I deserved this, and this was all I could amount to in a person as far as relationship wise. And I'm gonna tell you that's not true, because not to put that person down, but I've got scouted, I'll say scouted I guess, by other men that had better qualities. Now it's my personal decision to not be in a relationship because right now it's time for me. I have so much goals that I want to accomplish and still figuring myself out. And I think that's why it's so important that if you don't know who you are, please take that time, figure your things out before you jump into another relationship, because you don't want to become that person's energy vampire by accident. Like, heal, focus on you, and don't look back. I'm not gonna lie, when I sent the message of breaking up with him, I immediately wanted to be like, oh my gosh, it was a prank, because that's how much of a hold the person had on me. Don't ever let nobody feel like they have a hold on you like that, because they're gonna take advantage of it. Like, he definitely, like, one time I remember literally saying I love the man more than myself. That is so cringe. Please don't ever, especially because people like us, where we have a big heart and people can take advantage of that. And it's like, there was this quote, it was a quote from this song. It was like, every time I held you up, you still found a way to fall. That was me trying to hold this person up, and he still found a way to fall. As much light that I try to put out, he still found a way to surround it with darkness. Please focus on yourself, and when you leave, leave. Stop being codependent. And it's not that easy, which is why I really stress therapy and seeking God, because you can't do it alone. So if you want in-depth details on how to actually leave, on story time for my situation, then say something. But come January 1st, we are no longer discussing this, because new year, new us. Period. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Love you guys.